You know that sinking feeling when you're lying in bed at 2 a.m. scrolling through his Instagram stories, wondering if he actually cares about you or if you're just another option on his roster? Honestly, I've been there. And if I'm being completely transparent with you, it's exhausting trying to decode mixed signals in today's dating world. Just between us, I used to drive myself crazy, analyzing every text message, every delayed response, every canceled plan. But here's the thing. When a man or woman truly loves you, their actions become crystal clear and you'll never have to wonder where you stand. Let's be real here. We've all been fed fairy tale nonsense about love that has nothing to do with reality. But authentic love? Oh my God, it looks completely different, and honestly, it's so much better than any movie script because it is unscripted. It's just love. I remember my friend Sarah telling me about her relationship with Mark. For months, she was stuck in this situationship where she never knew if she was his girlfriend or just someone he hung out with when convenient. The difference was like night and day, and it opened her eyes to what real love actually looks like. Here's what research in psychology tells us, and this is fascinating. When a man is genuinely in love, his brain literally changes. Dr. Helen Fisher's neurological studies show that men in love experience increased activity in the dopamine-rich areas of the brain, but more importantly, they show heightened activity in regions associated with attachment and caregiving. Love actually rewires a man's brain to prioritize your well-being alongside his own. The first sign that when a man truly loves you becomes obvious is consistency. I'm not talking about boring predictability, but reliable, steady presence in your life. When a man loves you, he doesn't play hot and cold games. He doesn't leave you on red for days only to pop up with a "hey beautiful" text at midnight. Research from the University of Rochester found that people in secure, loving relationships maintain consistent communication patterns because their attachment system feels safe and regulated. Let me paint you a picture with Lisa's story. She was dating this guy Jake for 3 months, and it was an emotional roller coaster. One week, he'd be all over her, planning elaborate dates, talking about the future. The next week, radio silence. She'd find herself checking her phone obsessively, making excuses for his behavior. He's just busy with work, she'd tell herself. But deep down, that knot in her stomach knew something wasn't right. When push comes to shove, love bombing followed by emotional unavailability isn't love. It's manipulation. A man who truly loves you doesn't need to overwhelm you with grand gestures to compensate for inconsistent behavior. Real signs of a man in love show up in the mundane moments, the good morning texts, the "how was your day" calls, the simple reliability of knowing he's there. The second thing a man will do when he truly loves you is integrate you into his world completely. And I mean completely. Studies by Dr. Arthur Aaron on relationship psychology reveal that couples in love experience self-expansion. They begin to include their partner in their sense of self. For men specifically, this manifests as bringing you into every aspect of their life without hesitation. That reminds me of the time my cousin Emma was seeing this guy who kept his life in separate compartments. She never met his friends, never saw his apartment, never heard about his family. He'd always have excuses. His friends were complicated. His place was a mess. His family was going through stuff. Meanwhile, she'd introduced him to everyone in her life within the first month. The psychology here is telling. When someone truly loves you, hiding you feels impossible because you've become part of their identity. Contrast that with how a man acts when he's in love. He wants to show you off, not because you're a trophy, but because he's genuinely proud to have you in his life. He introduces you to his mother, his best friend from college, his co-workers. He includes you in his plans naturally, without you having to hint or ask. His friends know about you not because he's bragging, but because you come up organically in conversation because you're on his mind. The third sign of true love from a man is emotional regulation around conflict. Here's where it gets really interesting from a psychological standpoint. Research from the Gottman Institute shows that men in healthy, loving relationships develop better emotional intelligence and conflict resolution skills. When a man truly loves you, he fights for the relationship, not against you. I could be wrong, but I think we've been conditioned to believe that passion means drama, that love should feel chaotic and unpredictable. But the way I see it, that's trauma bonding, not love. When a man is serious about you, disagreements don't become character assassinations. He doesn't gaslight you or use your vulnerabilities against you during fights. Instead, he approaches conflict with curiosity rather than defensiveness. Let's talk about Maria's experience. She was in a relationship where every minor disagreement turned into a 3-day silent treatment, followed by love bombing to get back in her good graces. The emotional whiplash was exhausting. She thought this intensity meant he cared deeply. In reality, it was a sign of emotional immaturity and possible narcissistic tendencies. When she finally met someone who truly loved her, she was almost suspicious of how calmly they could discuss problems and find solutions together. The fourth way how a man shows love is through what psychologists call responsive caregiving. This concept comes from attachment theory research by Dr. John Bowlby. When a man truly loves you, he becomes attuned to your emotional needs and responds appropriately. This is not about him fixing all your problems. It's about him showing up emotionally when you need support. For what it's worth, this is where many women get confused in modern dating. We've been taught that independence means never needing anyone, and while self-reliance is important, healthy relationships involve interdependence. Signs of true love include him remembering that you have that big presentation on Tuesday and checking in on how it went. It's him noticing when you're stressed and offering comfort without you having to ask. It's him picking up your favorite ice cream when you've had a rough day, not because he's trying to earn points, but because your happiness genuinely matters to him. The fifth and perhaps most crucial sign is future planning that includes you naturally. Attachment research shows that securely attached individuals in love begin to envision and plan a shared future. When a man loves you, you're not an afterthought in his life plans. You're a central consideration. But here's what's tricky in today's dating landscape: future faking. Some men will talk about the future to string you along without any genuine intention of building that future with you. How to know if a man is serious about you versus just talking a good game? Look at the actions behind the words. Is he actually making concrete plans that involve you? He'd say things like, "when we get married," or "when we buy a house together." But when it came time to make real decisions, choosing a lease, planning a vacation, even just committing to plans more than a week in advance, I was never part of the equation. At the end of the day, when a man truly loves you, you feel it in your nervous system. Your body relaxes around him because he's consistent and safe. You don't find yourself constantly analyzing his behavior because his intentions are clear through his actions. You're not walking on eggshells, wondering if you're too much or not enough, because he makes you feel valued exactly as you are. The psychology behind why this matters so much goes back to our fundamental need for secure attachment. When we feel uncertain about where we stand with someone, our nervous system stays activated in a stress response. This chronic activation affects everything: our sleep, our ability to focus, our overall well-being. Signs a man is committed to you create the safety your nervous system needs to regulate and thrive. Long story short, love isn't supposed to be a guessing game. If you're constantly wondering whether he loves you, if you're analyzing every text message and reading between the lines of every interaction, if you're making excuses for behavior that makes you feel insecure, that's your answer right there. When a man truly loves you, his love becomes obvious through consistent, reliable, emotionally mature actions. In a nutshell, real signs of a man in love include consistency, integration, emotional maturity during conflict, responsive caregiving, and natural future planning that includes you. These aren't just romantic gestures, they're evidence of genuine attachment and commitment. And honestly, you deserve nothing less than this kind of love. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Have you experienced this kind of secure love? Or are you still navigating the confusion of mixed signals? Hit that like button if this helped clarify things for you, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights on building healthy, authentic relationships. Trust me, understanding these patterns will transform how you approach love.